Hello there, and welcome to another episode of WOK Talk. Continuing on from our previous episodes, I was talking about possible future engravings on the shield, one for north, one for south, one for west, and one for east. North was native and foreign, west would be we are all in this together, and east would be every child matters. If you have personal disagreements with the group or movement by that name, I hope you can at least appreciate the statement by itself that every child does indeed matter. Everyone born into this world matters. The idea that some people don't think that every child matters is, well, it's a sad thing. But let's get on with the squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is your first time watching, I am doing more exercise, i.e., squats with the walk, to help prepare myself for a bigger exercise, which will be carrying a pallet 50 miles to raise awareness for suicide prevention. All the preparation, the better. But feel free to ask any questions about that in the comments. Today, I want to talk about a couple different things, starting off with a couple people. Those three people are Jason David Frank, David Popel, or perhaps it's pronounced Popple, Dennis Avner. Jason David Frank, you might know him as the Green Ranger from the Power Rangers. He really lived being a Power Ranger. He returned to the series several times to play different colored Power Rangers. He was known for being somebody who would go the extra mile for his fans, and he devoted himself to being something of a real-life Power Ranger, as he made himself a martial artist and made himself the real deal, and he did good. I'll just leave it at that for now and move on to David Popel, but you might know him by his real life superhero name of Superhero or Old Superhero. Um, yeah, no, he is an imposing figure with quite the torso. You could tell he put exercise into his body, and at one point in time, he was even a wrestler or tried to work his way into that industry. He shows up on a lot of documentaries about real life superheroes, and he was one of the ones who actually had a car, and well, that ends up being a bit of a superpower when people are stranded on the side of the road, and he made it his mission to help people out who were in need. And the third person I'd like to talk about is Dennis Avner, also known as Stalking Cat. I knew him as the Cat Man. He was the man who surgically altered himself to look like a tiger. You may have seen him on Ripley's Believe It or Not. He definitely was an inspiration for me because I realized that he was somebody who showed me that you didn't have to be normal, but apparently he did have a very hard life because of it. but he inspired so much imagination just from being who he was. But like I say, I know that his life kind of became a struggle, and that's a sad thing, you know. And maybe that was the thing that all three of these people had in common, is that, like anybody, their life is a struggle. And unfortunately, all three of these amazing individuals have something else in common, and that is the fact that they all committed suicide. Um, they're all relatively well. The one of them passed away in 2012, so he is the one who's most not recent. I think was Stalking Cat there, where Superhero and the Green Ranger were a lot more recent. But in looking up the identities of these people, I ended up getting into kind of an argument with Chat GPT about what my mission should be, because it's they've upgraded Chat GPT so it's not all agreeable, but now it's kind of an argumentative asshole sometimes, at least in my opinion. And I basically put the bottom line down that I would like to see suicide end in my lifetime, and I think it's a not a simple thing, but a straightforward thing that leads to the end of suicide, and that's simply people just not making the choice to end their life. Um, if nobody killed themselves, there would be no suicide. It's as simple as that. But ChatGPT said that I was shaming people by saying that it was a choice, and got into a whole argument about semantics. And that's kind of what is frustrating about raising awareness for suicide prevention, is people are so passionate about it, but yet they don't want to fully step their feet into it. But there's always somebody who wants to tell you how to do it, and I want to listen to everybody, even annoying Chat GPT, who really wanted to focus on the psychological roots to problems. And well, I can't solve every problem in the world. I just would like to see that one thing be changed, that people don't end their lives anymore, and then we can focus on other problems. You know, like if we continue living, we can continue to solve problems. But if you make that choice, that ends all your problem solving abilities. There's an episode of Justice League, the animated series, that I'd often bring up to people who come to talk to me on my walks to raise awareness for suicide prevention. Don't have people stopping to talk to me as much as I would like. Makes it a lot more of an effective way to spread awareness when you're actually talking to people. But if anybody sees this video, that's just as good, I suppose. But the story that I would tell them uh, from this Justice League series, actually, I think it was actually the sequel series, Justice League Unlimited, really doesn't matter. What does matter is it's about Amazo the android, and he's coming to take out Lex Luthor, the guy who always fights Superman. And basically, the Justice League knows this guy is coming, and they're going to try to protect Lex Luthor because he's still a human being worthy of protection. And well, Amazo the android, he's unstoppable. He walks through the entire Justice League. It is Justice League Unlimited because they had a way bigger roster of characters. They have people out in space trying to stop them. They have people on the ground. They have people everywhere waiting for this guy. He goes through the whole Green Lantern planet and just poofs it out of existence because it was in his way. And then the Green Lantern Corps is really mad at him. They want revenge for that. But basically, he's unstoppable, and he's getting to Lex Luthor. They try to reprogram him, and he says, "Yeah, that would have worked if I was still an android, but since 6 months ago, I'm no longer nanotech." And, ooh, he's a scary guy. But in one last ditch effort to hide Lex Luthor, another superhero, I believe the Atom, shrinks him down to be minuscule and small, like on a subatomic level. But Amazo, he can do that, no problem. He's like, "No, you can't escape me. I've been there, done that," kind of thing. But he doesn't just come and destroy Lex Luthor. He comes and he asks him, "Why do you go on?" He is this indestructible, amazing being that can travel through space and absorb the power of stars, but he struggles to find purpose in existence. And Lex Luthor realizes that. He says, "You're not asking me why do I go on. You're asking why should you go on." And he says, "I'm going to die. I'm a human. It's just inevitable. Maybe I can extend my lifespan through science, but it's likely eventually it's going to catch up with me. And so my purpose has always been look out for number one, look out for Lex Luthor. But Lex Luthor's going to die. But you can see it all. You can see everything. You can see it all the way to the end. And maybe that's your purpose." And that always really stuck with me because people are always looking for some grand destiny or path to go down. But maybe you haven't found that. Maybe you won't find that. Maybe that's not such a big deal. Maybe the great grand destiny is just see how it all pans out. Just see it through to the end. And that is what I want to pass on to you, whoever's watching this. Hopefully somebody watches this, but maybe it'll sit here just another no views upload. And, well, I tried. But I won't stop trying. And I will keep trying to pass on that message that you should just see things through. Just keep on keeping on. Just don't make that decision that ends it all. Don't make a really stupid decision. Not to insult people who have made that decision. Because I just spoke of 3 people who were very inspirational to me, and there are many other people who have ended their lives that were good people. But god damn it, in that moment, you did a very bad, very stupid thing. You took a very important person from the world. And I'm really sorry that happened. So please don't do that. I'm Captain Canada, Joseph Arthur Roszell. I want to wish you all luck in the world. I really want to thank you for watching. I love you. And I want you to know that suicide is never the answer. Peace out for now.